And hello, welcome back to another session of Wakasm Plays. And today, Wakasm is playing Brotato, Abyssal Terrors. Well, technically, I'm not actually playing it. I'll be watching a recording of me playing it. I guess I have to explain. Lately, my schedule's been crazy, which is why I haven't been making too much content. Um, I've kind of talked about it in other videos. I'm hoping to one day get back to a more normal schedule, but you know, life is life. It is what it is. But in part of my real world life stuff, I do have a Steam Deck. And when I have to be a parent sometimes, like when I have to wait for my kid to come out of school, or maybe when I'm in the car while my wife shops, I have a Steam Deck with me and I've been recording for the past month or two Brotato wins at difficulty 5 on the Abyssal Terrors DLC that came out like a while ago. Something that I never got around to doing. I've already beaten all the normal difficulty 5 stuff. So this is a great kind of game that you can just kind of play and pause, and the Steam Deck recording is really good for that. So yeah, I've been kind of hoarding these videos for a while. Um, at the as the time of this recording, I've probably beaten about half of them, but again, some of these recordings were months ago. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be playing it, and on future ones, I'll probably just get right into it. But I'll be playing it, commenting on what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and hopefully it'll be interesting for you. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to start ranking all the characters. Um, Based on how easy they are to win with, and also just like fun factor. So yeah, I guess let's get started because it will be like a 30-minute video. My runs tend to take about that. um so yeah, this first one will be with the well-rounded character. Pretty straightforward. He gets max HP, speed, harvesting, just all bonuses, no negatives, so very good like beginner character. Um, a lot of times when I play, I just kind of wing it. Um, I think in this particular run, I, for whatever reason, was looking for like a life steal build. At least that's my guess. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. This has literally been over maybe 2 months ago that I played this. So I'm just going by memory, but I know how I play and what I tend to look for. And yeah, I probably would have grabbed the bat. There you go. So I don't know if this video will help you or not. I think a lot of these builds you could win with a lot of different things. This was also before the most recent patch that allows you to ban things. You'll notice that, like, I don't know, maybe by the 8th or 9th video, um, the banning feature shows up because they added it like while I was playing it. But yeah, this is pretty typical start. Just trying not to get hit. Brotato's kind of boring for the first couple waves unless you get like real lucky. I tend to like dodge and armor. I usually like dodge more than armor, but it gave me armor, so I took it. And it tends to be that if I know that I'm going to be trying to get lifesteal or health regeneration, I tend to get health too. So I'm assuming that's why I've made the choices that I've made so far. But yeah, I guess spoilers. I'm gonna be winning in all these runs, so that might be boring. Some characters did take me multiple attempts. There's a couple that took me many attempts, and when we get to them, I'll talk about that. But yeah. I think here I probably... Did I just reroll? No. It's actually surprisingly hard to keep up with my choices because I'm not actually making them. But as a generalist, I get a little bit of everything, a little bit of luck, a little bit of harvesting. Well, the harvesting, you start with that. because of all the bonuses, you don't really need to invest heavily into the economy stuff. Like almost every character can benefit from harvesting or from trying to get money and saving up, but you don't always need it. This is one of those characters that you don't really need it for. Also, at the time of the recording, I hadn't really played this much. Like I think I beat this one on the first try. So I feel like I get more comfortable with the new enemy types later, but it's kind of hard to like showcase it. So the regen without moving is always good for a lot of characters early, because it means that if things get bad, you can often just, you know, get your health back without having to invest too heavily into regen. But again, I am playing shotgun, so in my mind I'm assuming that I want the regen or the lifesteal. So I do always get frustrated when I'm going for lifesteal, and then all of a sudden I get like a lot of health regen. I have a feeling, if I remember correctly, this is going to end up being a health regen game. I tend to always try to get curse. I just like to press my luck in that regard. It's a lot of fun when you get cursed items that are more powerful, so I think there I was feeling that my damage wasn't really doing much, so whenever that happens, I start taking the flat range damage wherever I can. Typically the way that I play too, I don't upgrade my weapons until I have 6 of them. I think there's a few classes where there are exceptions for that, and we'll talk about those as we see them. But I don't know if you're like me, I tend to, even when I'm trying to like try something new, I tend to gravitate towards the same kind of thing. So maybe after 60 of these videos, it'll be boring because we'll be able to predict exactly what I normally would go for based off the patterns in all these videos. I do like to re-roll a few times and then lock in. Sometimes I re-roll even with 2 things locked in. Probably not the most efficient, but I do that a lot. I also always try to get a little bit of speed. Speed's very helpful. So if you are struggling, that's one of the tips I will suggest. Get a little bit of speed. This way you can kind of stay away from the mobs that chase you. There's definitely a lot of mobs that sprint at you. If you don't have enough speed, you're gonna get hit too often. That seal is one of them. I think it's the next level where there's a whole bunch of them that show up, and on some of the characters around wave 8 was when the game would be the most challenging. It's usually wave 8, I think. I believe it's wave 8. We'll see in a second. Because it's not the seal that's annoying. There's another mob that's annoying. I almost always get dodged if it Sevilled me. So there we go. We have a nice curse boost, but it's melee damage and knockback, so I don't really take it. I got my more dodge. I think I'm probably gonna lock in on the butterfly. Yep. We got a lucky epic double barrel level 3. Yeah, it's these lantern guys. So it's wave 8. So I found this to most often be the hardest wave, just because of those lantern guys. If you don't have the speed to get out of the way, and you're not kind of on top of it, or if your damage is pretty weak, And then it's got these nose guys too that kind of do a lot of charging at you. And then I think there's 2 different kind of bullet guys on this level. I'm sure they all have names, or I'm sure there's a wiki that defines all this out there. I have not really ever looked up anything for this game. This is just one of those games that I don't know. I like playing a lot of these. I don't know. I don't even know what the genre is of Brotato. But there's a few other games that use the same formula. I don't think it's quite like a survivors game. Probably should Google that and figure out what that is beforehand. Here I'm debating if I want to get the extra pierce since all the shotguns already pierce. I think I end up taking it. My logic is can't go wrong with more pierce, but I think I'm trying to see if the pierce increases as the weapon upgrades. I'm guessing that's what I'm thinking. Oh, maybe I didn't take it. Maybe I decided that, hey, I don't need the extra pierce. I thought I would have taken it though. It's also once again like 1:30 in the morning. I have to record this after I get all my work done for the day and when my child is sleeping. I've been working on my website a lot too, which will hopefully be live, where I've been ranking all the video games and board games that I play. So if that's something that's interesting to you, stay tuned because that will be live. It may not be interesting, but I find it interesting. It's been a fun project because that doesn't require me to record and I can work on it in very small bits at a time. I'd be getting more progress on that than actual playing of any kind of video game. But I am trying to get out of my current life obligations, trying to finish off some stuff so I can get back to a more weekly scheduled I think I always take the what is it called, the bait, the fishing bait, even though those guys sometimes kill me. I think I almost always press my luck. Oh, adrenaline pops up in this run, so that's generally, I wouldn't say it's a game winner, but it definitely helps a lot. Being able to heal when you dodge and then getting a lot of extra dodge is really good. We are going to have a boss, then a horde, then a boss, and I'm assuming I'm going to be too weak to actually kill the boss, so I think I'm just going to end up surviving it, but now we start healing when we dodge. We can stop to heal because we have the standstill. We do have some lifesteal, but I don't think it's enough, even with 6 shotguns. But I feel like my damage output is still kind of weak at this point. I also tend to get very heavily obsessed over attack speed. Why, I don't know, but attack speed builds in games like this are always fun, especially when you can get lifesteal. I don't really have a... Oh, did I get a second adrenaline, or is that the one I was saving up? I think that was the one I was saving up. I already have 9 lifesteal, which is not really a lot. I find that lifesteal can be a letdown sometimes. Unless you get one of the really good lifesteal adjacent items for it. But it's still better than nothing. My hit points are not really that high right now though. And we have a boss coming up, so I feel like whatever the next purchase cycle will be, I'll probably be looking out for some sort of health items. But the extra speed right now is what's keeping me alive. I try to aim for 20% a lot of the time, just because 20% gets you out of a lot of jams. It helps you really kite some of the, even the really fast enemies. Can help maneuver you out of the way to heal yourself back up. I think because a boss is coming up, I know that I need... Did I not take the range damage? What am I looking for here? Yeah. Because I know the boss is coming up. I was fishing for something, but I'm surprised I didn't take the range damage. Or maybe I did and I missed it. But yeah, I'm assuming my damage is too low for this boss. Maybe not. Maybe those upgraded shotgun numbers are gonna get me through this. I really don't remember if I kill the boss or not. I feel like in a lot of these runs I don't. At least not the first boss. Unless it's one of the characters that has like really strong synergies, or I get some really lucky items early on. I feel like, especially on difficulty 5, I struggle at killing the boss. Especially in like the first boss round. Yeah, like I said, I knew I didn't kill the boss. Of course, it offers me a purple. And I think I'm tempted to take the lifesteal and the dodge, but I think I go dodge. And I do. Probably should have taken the lifesteal, especially with shotgun, but I probably should have taken that pierce item earlier too. I'm not really sure what made me not take it, other than reading probably that shotgun pierces, or maybe the pierce gets stronger at higher levels. I don't remember if it does, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did or did not. Or I wouldn't be surprised if it did. Yeah, I'm definitely not in any kind of OP role here. But yeah, I think with the well-rounded, I just take a little bit of everything. Almost everything there during that choice would have been worth it. I do get extra curse. I'll be surprised if I don't lock in that lifesteal. Alright, that's what I thought. I think here I'm probably considering the celerity, but I think I also might have thought it was a A wave didn't take it. I'm not sure why I didn't take it. Every time I pause the game, I feel like old me had a plan, but I can't figure out what my plan is or what I'm curious about. Maybe it's different when you're viewing the game from inside the game versus outside. Yeah, I think we're starting to hit that point where all the dogs just starting to heal, the lifesteal stacking, the regen stacking. And they tend to play a little bit defensive, so that's why we're taking the armor. I think I'm contemplating if the decomposing flesh is worth it with only 5 rounds, but since in my head I'm sure that I'm saying, hey, I need the lifesteal. Now this is risky. But I'm pretty sure in my head I'm saying, hey, I have enough lifesteal, regen, armor that I can survive. Does not always work out, but I feel like most of the time it's worth the pressure luck to get that extra health. That's a big horde even with my piercing. We got this. Every time I dodge, I have a 50% chance of healing a hit point. Alright, I think this is where things get derailed because they offer me a purple heavy gun, and considering that I still have 3 basic shotguns, I'm assuming my logic here was, well, I'm probably not going to get the upgraded shotguns. I might as well take this gun for some meteor damage. Finally lock it in. I remember agonizing over that. Alright, 4 more waves. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll throw in a loss or 2 just to throw everyone off the scent. We're still doing okay, I think. I think the damage output still leaves a little bit to be desired, and I think here I'm starting to feel the, yeah. You can kind of see when I go in panic mode, I tend to zip around the map over and over again, or down the long maps. Or both. Alright, we finally got that gun. I didn't take the piercing thing again for some reason. Our health's staying pretty much up there. I do like watching how fast it recovers when I'm not playing. Surprised I didn't get that tree towards the end. Probably should have got that harvesting way earlier. Yeah, I just missed what I got at the end there. I thought it was an armor 3, but I didn't actually see myself choose it. Alright, so this next wave is a boss wave. I think I'm probably hunting for more damage, but I don't think I'm going to get any. Alright, maybe with that big gun we kill the boss. I don't remember. You have a shot. With all the piercing, the boss is still taking damage. You got 15 seconds. I think I take the life steal. I get more life steal. Thinking about re-rolling, but now I have 20% life steal. That is a lot, but still in practice doesn't always feel like the best. I also have the crit tentacle now, which means that I potentially heal on crits. I don't remember if it's crit kills or just crits in general, but that adds up too. I didn't take the hook again. Alright, wave 19, wave 20. My damage right now still feels pretty behind. I don't think I'm going to catch up on damage. I'm probably going to end up winning the final stage before Endless by just waiting it out and not dying. But again, with that much dodge, lifesteal, health regen, a little bit of armor, should be fine. But I do think I try to spec into damage either through crit or re-rolling for ranged. Offered another obliterator. Our first red legendary. Ooh, sniper gun. Do I grab that too? I might also grab that. I think I'd probably lock it in, but then don't end up getting enough money to get it in the first place. Maybe not. We're going with the weird ghost. I always get the weird ghost item. It's killed me a few times, but more often than not, it's not too bad. Oh, this is the final level. I didn't even realize that. Probably a good idea. I didn't get the ghost for this level. Past me probably noticed that and was like, nope. So, endless amount of time, I definitely would be able to defeat them with this setup. But I do feel like I'm just going to end up outlasting the bosses versus killing them. I think I would have needed like, I don't know, 10, 12 more range damage and a little bit more crit or attack speed. And I think we probably would have got there, but let's see. I don't know. Maybe we do get there. Yeah. Defense is pretty good in this game. And in all these videos, I don't think I really try the endless mode that often. It's easier for me to play a game and have it have an end, especially when I'm out with my family or watching my son or something. And there we go. I'm gonna run with the well-rounded in the abyss. This is what my item layout was. Again, I would not say that this was the best or strongest lineup, I guess, of things, but it worked. So yeah, that is that. I'm just gonna put it back on in the background for a second. But yeah, so that is my first play, and now we're gonna rank it. I kind of prepared this a little bit ahead of time, but here we go. Whoops. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to do this instead. Alright, so where does the well-rounded end up? Well, we have them as B tier. They're pretty easy to win with if you haven't won a tier 5, like I said, unless you pick something that I end up choosing A tier or S tier, which usually will probably be like something very broken or feels very strong. You know, you can't really go wrong. And fun factor, because there's no, you know, there's no downsides with this character. Now I'm reading from my own screen, which I wrote this. Start with a boost of a few stats and basically play this character however you want. That's the best part about this character is because there's no downsides, you can literally choose anything. Obviously you have to get lucky to get synergistic stats or items to go with whatever you choose. But you're not fighting against a negative downside that you have to like overcome with like a lot of the other classes. So this is a great one to just experiment with items. You just gotta play through. If you find it really hard, this could be a good one for you, again, because of that flexibility. You'll see that some of the other classes, like, you really want to all in on one or two specific things just because of what their special skills do. But yeah. So yeah, we're gonna be doing this. It's obviously number 1 right now because I haven't ranked any of the other stuff. I'm gonna be ranking them in order of how they are on the choose your character screen, make your selection. And if you think this was interesting, let me know. If you think watching me beat each one is worth it, then give me a like, subscribe, follow, you know, all that kind of good stuff. It is really late, so my brain kind of went to mush on some of the commentary. could have just uploaded this without any commentary, but I feel like, I don't know, talking about the choices maybe makes more sense. So I think we're just going to keep this format for now. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. Look for, I forget what the next character even is. I guess if we go back to the character select screen, who is the next one? The Brawler is next. So the Brawler will be the next one ranked, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.